June 19th, 2018, coming to you from a bright, brand new gym closet, and we're excited about today. So today we are deciding to go a little bit off the cuff, so we have some segments later on, but we thought it would be fun to do kind of an internet trolling version of fitness information.
Little trolling, little honesty. I think a couple of these you can actually answer and give good information. And
Awesome.
then I found one that is pretty good.
Nice. So we have we're gonna roll off of Reddit and
R
is it
fitness.
Reddit Fitness?
Yeah, Reddit Fitness.
Okay, so we're gonna go off of Reddit Fitness and we're gonna just sling some. So how does first off, what the fuck is Reddit?
I don't know. It's hard to describe, but according to Shane, it's Twitter. I mean,
It's like Twitter for people that like to write more.
There's just like a bunch of subreddits. It's essentially like different different forums. So like this is a fitness forum where everybody can post on it and then post comments on different threads.
It would be like Twitter with like a overhead.
Well, a bunch of different sub-Twitters. So if you could be like, instead of like people...
But if you had like fitness Twitter,
yep,
then I would tweet in the fitness
in the fitness and answer what other people tweet.
Sure.
But instead of 150 characters, these people write like big fucking long.
Yeah, and then you can post like forums in a forum.
And then you
just go deeper and deeper and deeper.
Do you use Reddit?
No, but my cousin...
So then after you...
amazing.
Sorry to interrupt.
My cousin...
But after you read it, then you already read it.
Yes.
And that's
exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say my cousin absolutely loves it. He'll just sit there and he'll be in one thread, and then he'll be in the same thread for 40 minutes.
And sometimes I just read nonsense. I mean, it's totally unimportant.
I would assume that you could go into some rabbit holes of.
Oh yeah. There's one that's called Ask Reddit. That's my favorite, where somebody just says, "Hey Reddit, when's the time when you've ever done this?" So like it'd be like, "Hey Reddit, doctors of Reddit, what's the most disgusting thing that you've ever done?" And so they're like even like famous Reddit moments, like that most people that Reddit have seen.
Okay.
And it's
would you say that like this is like a blogger's paradise? So like, are there a lot of like bloggers that
because
dive into Reddit?
I'm sure there are subreddits for bloggers, but I just use the word blog because it's longer. It's much shorter than a normal blog.
Okay.
The posts. Like I'll read one of these in its entirety right now.
All right. Well, let's jump right in. Let's jump right in.
So leaner in some places and gaining fat in others while I bulk. I'm in the middle of a pretty successful lean bulk, and so far I'm happy with my results, but I've found it interesting that some areas of my body seem to have gotten more shredded during this bulk, while other areas seem to be getting softer. Is that just because the body stores fat in different places at different times? For instance, my arms/shoulders and legs seem to be getting both bigger in size, but also more defined, while my core/chest seem to be getting bigger/stronger as well, but it looks a little softer compared to when I was cutting. I'm assuming this is just because of the fact that fat comes back to the body in the same place as you lost it, and I generally lose my belly fat and fat around my pecs last compared to my arms and legs.
So he answered a lot of his own questions.
I know, he basically nailed it.
but yeah, I mean that's so there's different body types, obviously.
Yep.
So you've probably heard of like the pair, where somebody puts a lot more weight on like their thighs, ass, and lower midsection, and then there's like the apple, where someone puts it all like their legs maybe like skinny, but they look round, and that is, I mean, it depends on hormone levels, it depends on male female, and it depends on body type, but you basically put, as a person, you individually, you're going to put on body fat in the same spot when you put it in, as you normally do. But it also spreads out, and it also takes a lot of it's like an illusion, I think, too. So when I see people putting on body fat and they're like, "Oh, my stomach, now I don't have abs, which is unfortunate, but my arms feel huge."
Yeah.
Well, you put fat,
that's what I was
a sheet of body fat on both.
Do you think he's more shredded, or it's just the size difference and the lack of fat? Probably same amount of fat, but a bigger size.
Very probably a little bit more fat, like around the midsection, right?
Yeah.
Because that's probably where he naturally puts it. Yeah. And as males with testosterone, that's where we naturally put it.
Yep.
But the arm is still going to get body fat on it, but it's keeps a certain shape. But I would also bet that this guy's never been super shredded to the point where he knows what his arm looks like with very little body fat.
Right. So he thinks he was shredded maybe, but he didn't get to
bro shredded, not show.
He was bro shredded.
Yeah.
So like my bro shredded arm is not going to change much shape when I put on more body fat on it, because it's just the shape of your arm. So I can see that. The other thing like that people don't know, like one thing that's interesting, male and female, is the type of body fat that you put on. So like like cellulite, for example. Cellulite is only body fat. It's just body fat put on. But women have this sheath that kind of makes like think of like a screen door.
Sure.
And then think about like pushing Jell-O against a screen door.
Yeah.
That's what essentially that is, where guys have, and girls in other certain parts of their body, have a smooth sheath that holds that body fat, so then it pushes out smooth. So like on a guy's stomach, that's why a guy can have a giant stomach and have very smooth giant stomach, as opposed to like a
rubbing belly.
Right. But then you have a girl that puts on extra body fat on her thighs or on her ass, and she has cellulite, and that's all that is how that is naturally distributed through how your skin is actually made. So I mean, it's interesting shit, but yeah, mostly he answered his own question with it being body type and male female.
Okay, next one, and I'm not going to read the whole one again. I just wanted to use that as an example.
No, awesome. So that's okay. So getting back into what Reddit actually is. So Reddit, it gets that. So that's a question. On this fitness thing, and then people just respond.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang.
And only one person responded to that guy. I think most people read it and was like, "Okay, you got it, buddy.
Yeah,
good job."
You're right. A one-word answer. Yes.
Okay, and this one, this is really dumb, but I want to defend the kid in what he asks, because he says at the end, "I know nothing about nutrition."
Okay.
Is it more important to hit your macronutrients or to eat below your calorie deficit? And what he's asking is, he's 160 pounds, he wants to go from 17% body fat to 8% body fat, and he thinks he's supposed to eat 135 grams of protein and 198 grams of carbs. That would be hitting his macronutrients, according to him.
Okay.
Which he thinks is expensive.
That can be...
That is nothing.
Yeah.
And then, in this, he admits, he's like, I have no idea.
Expensive, like money-wise, or just like as your bank?
Expensive.
Okay.
And he says, going for lean muscle, should I eat below 2,000 calories and burn more than I consume, or hit my macros staying below 2,000 calories?
Okay, so first off, macros are calories.
Right.
So that, let's knock that out.
Again,
so
we don't want to be too mean. This guy admitted right out the back.
Right, and that's fine. And we work with people all the time that try to compare, well, should I count calories or macros?
Yep.
Well,
we
if
had
you're
an
counting
episode about it.
Right, and if you're counting macros, now you're counting calories.
Yep.
Because every gram of protein has 4 calories, every gram of carbohydrate has 4 calories, every gram of fat has 9 calories, every gram of alcohol even has 7 calories, every gram of there's different fibers with like 2 to 3 calories per fiber. Even BCAAs have calories associated with them, because calories is a unit of measure of energy. And so you basically, if you guys, for anybody that's been in chemistry class, you take it, you light it on fire, you time it, and there's algorithms and stuff to tell you how many calories are in this substance. So yeah, so I mean, everything has calories, and the macronutrients is calories. So what he's saying, the question itself is kind of off topic,
right.
But what I think he is confused about is, do I hit my macros, or do I go underneath my macros? And I think where he needs to start is figuring out where his basal metabolism is, and using where his activity
like
levels
he just kind of pulled the number out through the comments. People were like, how'd you get this number? And he's like,
I just kind of guessed. Yeah. Or I went online and threw in 3 pieces of information and it told me, right?
Yeah.
So I think that like they could do, what he should do is actually get the formulas to find your basal metabolic rate, find your NEAT, which is we've had an episode on NEAT as well, which didn't get much listen, so go back and listen to NEAT, because I'm telling you what it is right now.
It's like the third time.
Right, yeah. This is their non-exercise activity thermogenics. So
this is like the third time.
Right, yeah. So this is their non-exercise activity thermogenics. So find out, basically, if he sat on the couch and did nothing but breathe, how many calories are you burning in a day? Now add your NEAT. How many calories does that put you up to? Now add your caloric burn with either workouts or weights or whatever the case may be. And then that's going to be what tells you if you're in a deficit or if you're in a surplus, calorie-wise. Now you need to break it down even further to the macronutrient, how much protein is going to get me to optimal protein synthesis throughout my day. So that is normally I will, what is this, prerequisite this? Preface this, there we go. I'll preface this by saying, if you have, kidney problems, if you have liver problems, if you have issues digesting protein, like, these numbers are not for you, but standard general person, you should be at anywhere from 0.8 to probably 1.3. Athletes, probably 1 to 1.4 times your lean body mass. So that's your weight without your body fat included. So then you find out your protein, then you find out your carbohydrates, and then you find out your fats that you need to have, and then you need to adjust those accordingly to what your goals are. Are you in a deficit or are you in a surplus? Do you want to gain muscle or do you want to lose fat? Where are you? Or do you want to maintain exactly where you are? And a lot of times when you want to maintain and you're doing extra lifting, you're boosting your metabolism and you end up in a deficit anyway, and you start leaning out and building muscle. Especially this guy, obviously I would assume is a newbie. So he's going to get, he needs to lift weights and eat first. That's number one, because if you're a newbie, you have a couple years of awesome gains that you can get without worrying too much about. I see that's kind of the goal hierarchy that we also talked about in previous episodes. Is we're just diving into a bunch of old episodes. I love it. But if you are so worried about all of these little tic-tac things and you're a newbie and that's taking away from you just hitting the gym hard, then that's a problem. Your main goal needs to just be eat food, go train. You're going to gain a lot of muscle just lifting if you're a newbie, and those are the fun. I wish I could do that. I mean, that's the funnest time.
Those are the best times.
But then, as you get more educated, as you get farther along in your lifting experience, then you can start worrying about more of these things that will optimize that. But if you're over worried about optimization up front, that you're actually sacrificing the actual activity, then you need to
knock it off.
Yeah, knock it off.
All right, let's get into
it. This guy's just an asshole.
Okay.
All right, getting lazy towards the end of my workouts. I'm an 18-year-old, 19 in 2 months. And I've been working out pretty consistently. He goes on to say that he starts off his workouts really hyped and pumped and is excited for him, gets through the compound movements, and then just tails off at the end. Any advice on keeping up enthusiasm and hype from beginning of my workout all the way through? He says it's been a problem since he started lifting.
Probably a newbie as well. But
kid's an idiot. He's being a pussy.
Yeah. Sounds to me like he just needs to sack up.
I can't get through. I can't do arms. Dude, shut up.
Yeah. Sounds like he just needs to sack up.
I'm assuming it's just sack up and work harder.
Yeah,
that's what I would
make
assume.
me mad too. But do you eat enough? Do you sleep enough? That's not the problem.
That's what I was going to say too. So now, logistically, actually, if you are struggling with energy levels,
dude, you're an 18-year-old.
And I don't think that an 18, 19-year-old guy is going to do that. But if to answer a question that may be a legitimate question, not for this kid, but for some other people maybe, yes, making sure that your caloric intake and your macros are set so that you have enough energy, making sure that you have, potentially an intra-workout, and it depends how long he's working out too. It doesn't sound like he's working out that. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's doing much more than that. But the other thing is he getting overhyped at the beginning and wasting energy being hyped. I mean, there's a lot to be said.
Is he pounding his chest and screaming before every set of bench?
Is he going back and forth and fucking